All right. Hello. So I moved the camera a little bit, and hopefully it works a little bit better this time. Um, yeah. So, like I said, the setup is stream laptop here, game laptop here, connected to the big screen TV because this is an old game, and that's how you have to work old games sometimes. This is definitely a story-heavy game, so I'm going to do a little recap at the beginning of each stream just to kind of catch new folks up if they haven't seen it. Yes, it is adventure time. Not adventure time, but we're going on an adventure, and there will be a time of it. This is based off Deathgate series. We start off the game with two spells. We could heat things and cool things down. Our mentor, new mentor, I guess now, broke us out of the labyrinth, which is the prison for all the different icky things that were trying to kill our race, the patrons. And we were imprisoned by the Sartans, who destroyed the world. So what we're trying to do is build the world back together again. Currently, we're on the world of air, out of 4 different ones. You can probably guess what the 4 are if you watched Avatar or something like that. Anyways, we helped out some dwarves by not pretending to be a god. After a little bit, anyways. We got these glowing elves, kicked off their rock and used a zinger to signal the army, the human army, to capture an elven ship that let us adventure to this, I forget the name of the city we're outside of, but where the Brotherhood Tower is, that might have some information about the Sartans, which is ultimately our mission on each of the realms that we go to find out information about the Sartans, where they are, and how to get to the next world. Because right now, we're stuck in the world of air until we can find a way to get to wherever we find next. So, that's our brief little recap. And let's get started. So, the ship's deck overlooks a small city. The rope ladder drops to the ground and stairs lead elsewhere on the ship. Let's see if we can go up. The whole group of soldiers is gathered in small quarters to play cards. You can't even fit through the door. Well, what about going down? This was the slave galley. It's empty now, but filled with King Stephen's men when the ship was in motion. Probably without the chains, though. Better thick and sturdy. The oars, the wooden devices poking from the hull, are not exactly oars. They control the attitude and position of the ship's wings, which navigate the vessel when aloft. Because that's Elven craftsmanship, which is crappier than the craftsmanship we have. All we need to do is steer, and we have... Basically, we're in a fighter jet compared to their, I guess, World War II bombers, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, we also have this room to the left that still has this strong box that we cannot open because of the lock. Already tried the shear on it. It's too rusty to break open, and we could try to heat the lock. Someone messaged me, asked me if we could heat it and then use the shear. Let's do that, because, I mean, that makes sense. Maybe make it soft enough from heating it up. The lock gets hot, but not open. Well, let's try if we can do it now. Okay. Let's try cooling it down, T1000 style. Probably going to be the same result. Yep, same result. So, won't be the lock that breaks. Probably our shear, which we still have. Who knows when we'll, use it again. So let's go ahead and actually venture off into the city that we're pocket outside of. Very loud creaking. The Tower of the Brotherhood looms over a plaza flanked by a tavern and an alley. A child plays quietly to one side. A sign hangs over the tavern's only door. It reads, "The Devil's Workshop." I drink there. Alright, so, The boy watches his wooden doll walking in circles around the plaza. After wandering around, it happily strolls into the dark alley. The boy steps towards it, but stops, appearing terrified. He looks up to you with pleading eyes.
Oh, sir, would you please get my doll back? I couldn't possibly go in there. It's far too dark and scary.
All right, what do you think? Are we going to help this kid get his doll or leave him be? I know what I would do, because I'm neutral good. But Twitch chats are notoriously not neutral good. Kid needs to grow up? Okay. Okay. Alright. We'll be, no and yes. Okay, we'll do the neutral-ish option.
You want me to go in there? What's it worth to you?
I would give you anything, but the doll is all I have. Please, good sir. I wish I was as brave and strong and kind as yourself, but I am not. If you do this for me, I will be in your debt forever.
Yeah, maybe not this time, kid. Let's move on. The house looks expensive, more so than even its closest neighbors, but it is also abandoned. It's a combination manor and fortress. It suggests an owner who is both rich and paranoid. Can we open the door? Nope, secure locked against people just like you. As in me, not you. You guys are great. Alright, well, probably can't do anything here. We don't have an open lock spell yet, so... let's, go back to here. Oh, they're still standing there sobbing. A waif is standing there sobbing.
Please help me get my toy back, good sir. It would mean the world to me.
Oh, no. We have other places to go. The Devil's Workshop has a large, dirty common room populated by people you'd never want to meet. So, hello, Toughs. Hello, fellow Toughians. How are you? Two men look at you, then at each other, then start laughing. One of them takes out a sharp knife and fingers it. You decide to leave them alone. Probably a good bet. Hello, barkeep. What can I do you for?
Yes? How can I help you?
Give me a drink.
Certainly. Do you have any money?
Bravado.
Of course I do. Do you think I'd ask if I wasn't prepared to pay?
Very good. Let's see your stash.
I had it right here. Someone stole my money. Hey, who here stole my money?
Keep your voice down. People here don't like to be called thieves, and there's no town watch to bail you out if they decide to take it personally. If you lost money, you lost it. Now, can I help you with anything else?
I'm looking for some information.
Haven't we established that you are completely broke? Now, will there be anything else?
Who's that guy over in the corner?
That's you, the Hand, a member of the Brotherhood. He's been sitting at that table on and off for the last few weeks. I think he's scouting for prospective new members. A bunch of cutthroats have approached him about it, but he's turned all of them away. Some violently. I think he's looking for something special.
He is a much more major character in the novel series. Unfortunately, we only see him here in the game.
I'm looking for some information.
Sorry.
Haven't we?
Nice place you've got here.
Thanks. I certainly hope you aren't being sarcastic. This is the only tavern in town, and I'm very proud of it.
Well,
Never mind, I'm not as thirsty as I thought.
Very well. Stop back sometime.
when you got coin. Coin for drink. The tables. Hugh. It says we can attack. Sure. Let's see what happens. This dowdy little man doesn't look so tough. You lunge forward, intent on killing the assassin with a quick swipe of your rusty shear. But you find that that's more than a little difficult with 6 inches of tempered steel lodged in your kidney. Okay, on second thought, let's talk to the man.
What do you want? No, cancel that. I don't want to know. All I want is for you to get away from me. I've no time for all of you amateur cutthroats and gutter snipes. Leave me alone.
Okay, well, that's that. Unfortunately, there is nowhere else to go, so by plot railroading, we have to go into the alley. You wander into the dark alley. Spoiler alerts, but chasing after the scuttling toy. Its tiny legs don't move particularly fast, so catching it isn't a problem. When you pick it up, you catch a glimpse of rune markings carved into the wood. But before you get a chance to examine them further, a heavy rope net falls from out of the shadows. A child who, not a moment ago, was crying over his lost toy, jumps on top of you and beats you relentlessly with an iron bar until you collapse on the ground. He starts to rifle through your clothing, grabbing any objects he discovers. And we try to cut the net with the shear. You fumble around with the rusty shear, trying to saw at the net, but the street rat just lifts it out of your hands. The street rat is definitely talented in his field. In seconds, he has stripped you of all your possessions. Please, boy, we're lost in this world. From Wake the street rat, what a glow up.
Shut up. I'm busy here, and I hate to talk while I work. Very nice doing business with you, sir.
He disappears in the shadows, and a few moments later, the net lifts away. So, that could maybe go differently. Let's, Yeah, you start to wander down the alley, but end up splashing progressively through progressively deeper puddles of unidentifiable liquid. Really don't like what it smells like, though, so you turn back before you get stuck. The Tower of the Brotherhood looms. Oh, yeah. Come across the street rat, sitting on the streets and examining his newfound wealth, your possessions. He looks at you, smirks, and dives into the alleyway. Let's go back. Well, you know what? We're not that much of a fool. We have a certain spell that we should have used on him the first time, but a newer spell that we have. So, for those who this their first time in the chat, or the stream for Deathgate, the two we started out with were Heat and Cold. We got Identify to identify what spells do if we don't know what they might do. Rune Transfer, which is the plot spell, basically. We can create a reality pocket, so we can step into pictures and arts and stuff like that, as if they were real. Create Shroud of Darkness, where we can take any cloth that's black and then just make it darker. None so black. And then Swap. What does Swap do, pray tell? This spell switches the position of the caster and another higher life form, usually humanoid, but requires that the caster be touching the target. The spell can be cast through any obstruction as long as physical contact is achieved. Well, sounds perfect for this situation. While the young thief paws through your valuables, I don't know why he thought they missed something the first time. You take the opportunity to hang the swap spell in the air and grab onto his searching hand. His eyes grow wide as the spell takes hold. With an implosion of air, you and the street rat switch positions. He crouches on the ground, trapped inside the heavy net, while you stand above him. The street rat looks at you in amazement, surprisingly unafraid, but a little desperate. So, that does not look like unafraid. That definitely looks like, oh my god, I'm about to get pwned by a wizard.
You're a wizard! A wizard hasn't been seen in Skirvash since far before I was born. Why are you here?
Yeah, let's go about the Brotherhood.
What can you tell me about the Brotherhood?
The Brotherhood? A very dangerous target, even for a wizard. I know much about the Brotherhood and the Tower, but you have to release me. You're going to need a guide for whatever job you have planned. I know all of the dark and secret corners of Skirvash. If you're new to this town, you'll get nowhere without me. Let me go, and I'll help you.
Sure. I've got no reason not to trust you. You just led me into a trap and tried to steal everything I had.
That's what I do. You look like an easy mark, so I tried to shake you down. Now that I know you're a wizard, I'd be a fool to turn on you. My offer stands. Release me and I'll help you.
He doesn't know that we don't know too many spells. Sure. Let's push the net. No, we won't be that much more of a jerk. You lift the net off the child. Some hidden pulleys draw it up. High into the shadows of the alley. True to his word, the street rat does not run off. Instead, he produces everything he stole from you. Then, shuffling down the alley, he flips aside a greasy blanket to reveal a hole in the wall. He enters and motions for you to do the same. No. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought they were getting into trash. Alright, well, let's go down there. Do that greasy blanket. I like his bravado. This dirty chamber isn't much bigger than a crawl space. It's crowded with the street rat's possessions. Yeah, we're gonna take this pry bar here. You snatch the iron bar from the ground. It's no stranger as the street rat formally introduced it to your face back in the alley. When the boy sees that you've taken it, he starts to say something, then stops and looks very embarrassed. Yes, we're gonna get ours here, kid. I don't care, what kind of thief you are. The piles contain a wide variety of junk, none of it particularly valuable or useful. The street rat must be keeping it for reasons you can't imagine. Survival. I can imagine survival pretty easily. Alright, well, I think the only other thing is to talk with our street rat.
I'm willing to help you. But first I want to know what the job is, and what's in it for me.
Yeah.
Maybe that should depend on how much help you are.
Do you have the contacts? Do you know the city? Personally, I can't imagine you pulling off anything without me. If you're going after what I think you are, you won't have a prayer. All I want is a cut. I don't think that's too unreasonable.
What do you think this job is?
It seems to me that there's only one target worth the attention of a wizard. You're intending to break into the Tower of the Brotherhood. You must know that no one has ever made it into the tower and back out alive. You might not know how many have tried. Rumors of the Brotherhood's treasure have spread throughout the realms. Thieves, from third-rate pickpockets to practiced artists, have attempted to steal it. Usually, the less talented ones are turned away at the front of the tower. There is no obvious way to get in. Only the members of the Brotherhood know how to enter.
And we are about to hit the puzzle that stymied me for days. Literal days. When I first did it, I've gotten past it. I was tempted to actually kind of go through this beginning part to make sure I remember it properly, but I was like, you know what, let's go through this together. You guys having seen it before, me having not played it in about a year and a half or so. Yeah, I play this every so often because, I do love the game. Let's see how well I remember this.
Some make it inside. Every few months, a new body is found in the town square, the result of another robbery attempt. Usually, the Brotherhood takes care of its own disposal, but these bodies are left as messages to every other would-be thief. In short, no one has ever succeeded. If this is your plan, you're going to need my help. Even a small cut of the tower's famed treasure would set me up for life.
Okay, so you think you got the plan. You kid can succeed where hundreds of other wannabe thieves have. Okay, oh, sure. Okay. Yeah, let's just...
All right, I'll give you what you want. What can you tell me about this town? How can you help?
What do you need to know?
What is the Brotherhood? What does it do?
You must know about the Brotherhood. At least you must have heard about them. The Brotherhood is a guild, much like craftsmen or merchant guilds, only it is a fellowship of skilled assassins. Whenever you want someone dead, for sure, take out a contract with the Brotherhood. Their information network reaches into all the nations, human and elven. In fact, the Brotherhood is the only guild that employs all races without prejudice, even in times of war.
Kid, do you know that there are dwarves? Just saying. Just saying like a Super Saiyan. And the more I think about it, the Brotherhood reminds me of the, golly, what is the group in John Wick's universe? The Association? No, it's not the Association. What's the thing in John Wick? One of you all know, I'm sure.
How do you get inside the tower?
I don't know the method that the members used to get into the tower. I've examined the exterior, and I haven't found any entrance. But I've thought about this. Only the members of the Brotherhood can get in, so the answer is to become a member of the Brotherhood. You're new. Nobody knows you. You might be able to pull off something like this. As it happens, an assassin, a member of the Brotherhood, hangs out at the Devil's Workshop. His name is Hugh the Hand, and he's actively recruiting. It's not easy to catch his eye, and harder to have him sponsor you.
How do I get this Hugh the Hand to sponsor me?
Hugh is looking for only the most talented thieves and murderers. You'll have to do something extravagant to catch his eye. What that may be, I don't know. Perhaps if you stole something rare or valuable.
There is a certain manner that looks very intriguing.
Who are your contacts? What do they have to offer?
I know someone who was once a member and knows the entire layout. Undoubtedly, he'll be able to give me some vital information. I also know a talented craftsman who can forge any specialized tools that you may need. Unfortunately, both of those people are going to ask for a lot of money. Unless you've got a stash that I couldn't find, you're going to have to come up with some.
What exactly is the Devil's Workshop?
It's a tavern in the center of town. Low-life scum throughout Skirvash collect there to meet contacts, do business, and get drunk. In fact, the workshop's bartender is the most successful fence in town. The fastest and cleanest way to unload stolen merchandise is by selling it to him.
All right, that's all I need. I'm ready to go.
Very well. In order to help you any more, I'm going to need some upfront money. If you get some, bring it here, and I'll get to work on getting the information and tools that you'll need once you're inside the tower. Good luck!
So this is where I was initially stuck for a little bit, way back when I first played it. I was like, well, I did a favor for the king, right? He should owe me some money. And it's like, nope, we can't get off this island. You're stuck here until, you're done with your job. So, after thinking about it a little bit, I remembered that there was a certain chest we couldn't open. But now that we have the pry bar, you slip the pry bar between the lock and the strongbox lid. With a firm twist and a grunt, you break the lock and pieces fall to the ground. What's inside? Dang straight there's money. And, of course, more valuably, a tea pipe. So we do need 5 total pipes to basically do this Tetris puzzle, which I really hope that, Jared, you're on and we can, you can help me through it, because that was a pretty hard one, because I'm really crappy at spatial stuff. Yep, don't need the lock, so let's go back with our mucho money. Hopefully the kid doesn't ask questions. Money. Here.
You're on the right track, but stolen jewels won't do me any good. You might try to fence them for some cash. Take them to the Devil's Workshop. The barkeep might be able to help you.
Alright, fine. Hey, that money I lost, I found it.
I've got something that I want to sell.
I'd be happy to take a look at it. Let me see. These are dwarven relics. Where did you steal these? They'd be worth more if there wasn't a glut of dwarven artifacts right now.
Of course. Shrewd-ish.
I'm a little short of funds just now. This is all I can afford for them.
As you pocket the money, the dark figure motions you over.
Well, that's a very impressive haul. Dwarven relics, eh? Even I would have a tough time coming by something that rare.
But you said there was a glut. Well, let's not insult the man that we're trying to get to sponsor us. Yeah.
I admit it took a little doing.
I like you. You don't reveal too much in casual conversation. Let me introduce myself. My name is Hugh the Hand. I represent the Brotherhood and I'm currently recruiting new members. I'm impressed by your style. Would you be interested in joining?
Yeah, let's ask a couple.
Why are you called Hugh the Hand?
Because of my rank in the Brotherhood. An initiate starts out as the sheath. Later he becomes the tip, the blade, the crosspiece, the hilt, and eventually, the hand. Only one rank is higher than mine, and that is the arm. Chang currently holds that position, and she has held it for many, many years.
Why would I want to join?
For a variety of reasons. The membership provides quite a bit to its members. It assigns the contracts and makes weapons, information, and healing available. For that, the Brotherhood requires a stiff tithe. The alternative is to continue operating without a membership. But now that you have drawn the Brotherhood's attention, we will make sure you don't encroach on our business. Unfortunately, anything you do will probably encroach on our business. Therefore, we will be forced to kill you. I hope that makes your choice clear.
I've asked this of everyone, but from a actual member.
What exactly is the Brotherhood?
Simply put, the Brotherhood is a guild of assassins. We accept only the most talented killers from every nation. When governments cannot eliminate a target, they come to us. For an incredibly outrageous fee, they receive our assurance that the target will die. The Brotherhood recruits from both races and operates in all of the realms in times of war and peace. It's hard to say when we're busier. The contracts we enter into during peaceful times are equally numerous, though more covert.
Why do you all keep saying both races? There's dwarves. You said dwarven. Are dwarves beneath you? Besides in height? I don't know.
If you accept only the most talented assassins, why do you want me? Aren't I unproven?
That's very true. I did not say that I was inviting you to join. That comes later. I only asked you if you were interested. Are you?
Of course I'm interested. What low-life cutthroat wouldn't be?
Very good. Now you are still very unproven. The theft of the dwarven artifacts was enough to draw my eye, but you're not blooded. I'm going to require a contract before I can apprentice you.
Who's the target?
There is a merchant who lives on the edge of town. He has angered the Brotherhood. He's overstepped his authority and must be eliminated in order to set an example for the rest of his kind. Do you understand?
Do you have any information about this man?
Certainly. Most importantly, you should know that he wears an amulet. It is magic and protects him from all harm. Also, you should know that he knows that the Brotherhood is out to eliminate him. We've already tried once unsuccessfully. Since then, he's taken some precautions. He's had the front door reinforced and the lock changed as well. We believe that he's currently holed up there in the house.
A magic amulet that protects him from harm? Won't that make killing him rather difficult?
Yes.
Yes. The fact that he is never without it might hamper you as well. Consider this a true test of your skills.
Anything else I should know about this merchant?
There are rumors that he keeps a secret journal. I'm not sure how that would help you since I'm asking you to kill him, not investigate him.
All right, let's get on with this.
Very well. Will there be anything else before you leave?
What should I do after I've finished the job?
I will require proof that you have eliminated him. Since he's said that he would die before being separated from his amulet, I believe that that will suffice. When you have finished, bring the amulet here to me. That should be enough.
This sounds pretty serious. Why haven't you taken care of him before? Why ask me?
We sent a man out. He didn't come back. If you succeed, then you have earned a place in the Brotherhood. If you fail, then we haven't lost another man. It is as simple as that.
Expendability.
All right, I'm on the job.
Very good. Remember, when you have finished, bring back his amulet. That will be proof enough of his death. Please, don't insult me by running away. It would be such a bother to track you down and kill you.
Let's see if you can jump realms, sucker. Of course, we're stuck on this island until we finish the job anyways. Alright, kid, I got money. Money here.
With this money, I can get the items we need.
Alright, this is one of the few times where waiting is necessary.
I got him! The information and the lockpick.
Tell me about this lockpick.
It's custom. There's never been another made like it. Look at it. The lockpick has been designed to open any type of lock, no matter how complex. Only one of the prongs will fit into each lock. Once you've placed that prong inside the keyhole, you'll be able to move it certain ways. Each movement will make a specific sound. According to the locksmith, the lockpick will make a distinct sequence of 3 noises before the lock springs. He didn't tell me what that series of sounds was, but he said it would be the same for every lock.
Tell me about the information.
I bought it from an ex-member of the Brotherhood. He claims that this parchment contains the codes to open the tower's treasure room. There's no way to verify it without actually getting inside the tower, so I had to buy it at face value. I don't really understand it anyway. I have no idea what the first line, "by their time to die," means. The second line is a list of continents above Skirvash that partially obscure the sun throughout the month. We can't see which one it is at this time of day because the sun is behind the tower. Overall, I don't know how to use this information, but it might come in handy.
How much did it all cost?
As I suspected, it cost everything I had. Sorry there's no change.
Of course.
What can you tell me about the wealthy merchant on the edge of town?
He was the most prominent and successful merchant in town until a couple of weeks ago. Then he just dropped out of sight. Rumor had it that he had a run-in with the Brotherhood. Maybe it had something to do with the stiff taxes the Brotherhood places on any transaction in Skirvash. I always thought that he'd be safe from the Brotherhood. He has a magic amulet that keeps him from harm, and he's never without it. That's about all I know, except I heard that he keeps a journal hidden away inside his house. I hope that helps, although I can't imagine how.
Hint, hint, find the journal.
Good work. Expensive, but good. I'll take it from here.
Thank you. I think you'll find that in the long run, it will be worth far more than what you paid.
Okay, well let's look at this piece of paper. There are 2 lines of text on the inside. The first reads, "by their time to die." Okay. The second line reads, Sharthia, Hestia, Shagra, Yolandia, and Irigasta. Aristagon. There we go. Perhaps it's an advertising flyer for the Brotherhood. Okay. By their time to die. Okay. And let's look at this thing. It's a strange-looking instrument with bulges and contours whose purpose you can't identify. With what you paid for it, it better be effective. Well, without further ado, let's do some B&E. Alright, lockpick, show me what you got. You gently slip the lockpick inside the iron lock. After it slides solidly into place, you carefully examine the lock, trying to decide how to manipulate the lockpick to unlock the door. So we can jiggle, turn, push. So I forget again which noise we want first, so it's just a matter of, tick, thunk, clack. You must have done something wrong. Alright. So, clack, thunk, tick. Alright. Let's try it this way. Boop, boop, and boop. Alright. Yeah, this is just one of those things where you just have to keep doing it, and then you'll know in the future. So, thunk, clack, tick. Okay, not that. So, clack, tick, thunk. Clack, tick, thunk. Okay, so if we ever need to unpick a lock, or pick another lock, it's clack, tick, thunk. For any other case, but sometimes we might have to do the things in a different way. Alright. Let us go inside. So the house is all but empty. Its contents, save for a few spare items, have been taken away. Well, fireplace is made of irregular but expertly fitted stone. A full-length mural hangs above a broad mantel. We have a poetry book. We have a clock. It's strange that the clock was left here when all of their furnishings were taken. Closer examination reveals that the clock is bolted to the mantle. You also see that the only moving part is one hand. It has no winding key, no gears or wheels, and therefore, as far as you can tell, no way to keep time. Well, this is another puzzle that we're gonna have to get to in a moment. Let's read this poetry book. Aw, love poems. The wind. She lifts the mist. She lifts from the mist in the morn. She breathes the first air of the day. She flies towards the rise as she's born, but dies before she's away. When time comes for wine, she doth linger, and trails her hand in the stream. She knows as it flows through her fingers, it is far deeper than it seems. But where are the rare times she toils? She wears down mountains in her path. The friends she depends on are loyal, but all else should fear of her wrath. She sings of all things in her chorus. The rustle of leaves is her song. Betrayed by the shade of the forest, the time when dark falls sees her gone. Okay, it's just, we randomly were flipping through, found this bookmarked page, so it's the wind. So this does definitely relate to the clock here. So it's Misty Morn, and okay. Now I need to remember what the order was. So, Misty Morn, then Wine, then Toil, then Dark. So, it's starting on Misty Morn, right here. So we need to go to Wine Time, then Toil Time, then Dark Time. That's one thing that kind of tripped me up for a while when I first came across the puzzle, because I was like, Misty warned us first, why is this not working? And yeah, you have to click on the names, not the little triangles by them. So, one of the stones surrounding the fireplace pops open. Inside the compartment, you discover a leather-bound journal. The hidden journal that everyone keeps talking about that is of no importance whatsoever. Well, blank. First entry. A little bit of reading. Again, this is information that we will need to use. I'm not used to keeping the journal, but my thoughts are in turmoil and I have no one to talk with them about. I have no one to talk with about them. It's like being isolated in ancient times. Anyways, I figured that by writing down my feelings, I might be able to sort through them. Put simply, I have met a woman. She is incredible. She is beautiful, rich, and well-bred. The perfect match for me. I saw her in the gardens. She was sitting at the fountain, looking over the flowers, and she said in a melodious voice, "Everything here is so beautiful. I love it so much." She breathed heavily and pouted. She was so cute that I had to approach. I snuck up behind her and whispered, "How much?" She looked rather startled, but recovered nicely, obviously recognizing me as the most successful merchant in the city. "The garden takes me away from my horrible life," she replied. "I love it more than anything, truth be told." "That was before you met me," I stated. She giggled, and at that moment, I knew that she was for me. I've never met anyone that I've reacted to so strongly. I must have her. Normally women pursue me. I am the most successful merchant in the city, and the notoriety of my magic amulet is widespread, but I've never invested so much of myself in one woman. If she won't have me, I don't know what I'll do. More later, and much more bravado to come. 7th entry. Every time I see her, I yearn to spend more and more time with her. We started meeting at the old stream where I played when I was a child. It makes me so happy to show her my old haunts. Taking her across the stepping stones was an absolute joy. She would only walk across while holding my hand. She was terrified of getting her dress wet. Each step took her further away from the shore, and by the 5th, and the last, she collapsed in my arms. I'll have to take her back here more often. 11th entry. Deirdre is beginning to open up to me. Her life, although not quite the horror story she believes it to be, has been hard. Her father died when she was young, and her mother remarried a cruel man who tries to control Deirdre's life. He doesn't care about her. He only thinks about her dowry, what she is worth. He wants only to preserve her value as a marriage object. She doesn't remember much about her real father. She does recall that he used to read her bedtime stories when she was very young. One especially caught her fancy, the bouncing beans. When I told her that I was read the same story long ago, she smiled so sweetly that it warmed my whole day. I must have her as my wife, regardless of her penny-pinching stepfather. He may ask for the world, but I will pay it. More bravado to come. 20th entry. Her stepfather has cloistered her away. It was obviously his plan to allow her to be with me just long enough to whet my interest. Now that the relationship has progressed, he snatched her off and is demanding a wedding. I certainly don't mind the idea of a wedding. I made the decision long ago. But I do object to his keeping me away from her while he decides what the dowry will be. Undoubtedly, he's poring over financial records, trying to calculate how much he can safely gouge out of me. All I can do is wait. 21st century. This waiting is driving me mad. I can't concentrate on my business. I'm useless for any task. I've repeatedly asked her stepfather if he has come to a decision, and each time he sends me away without an answer. The last time he bellowed that he would send a messenger when his decision was made, and that I should stop bothering him in the meantime. So what can I do? I wait, and I wait, and I wait to describe more bravado. 22nd entry. Since I cannot do my job, I've decided to commission a portrait. If only to use up some time while I will wait the messenger. Naturally, I have hired Leonard Bogage. His reputation for excellence is widespread throughout the realms. He's due to arrive in the next few days. 23rd entry. The portrait goes well. Leonard has lived up to his reputation. However, the endless hours of sitting do not take my mind off my project prospective bride. Instead, the modeling just gives me more time to dwell on missing her. I expect the messenger any day now. According to her stepfather, I am to give the dowry directly to the messenger. Only after he delivers it will I see my darling Jarre again. I argued about handing over what I expected to be a fortune to a stranger, so we agreed that the messenger would identify himself with a few facts that only my fiancé and I would know. Then again, I would have agreed to anything to hurry the old coot up. 24th entry. The painting is done, and still the messenger hasn't arrived. I wonder if that man realizes the pain he's putting me through, or if he even cares. 25th. The messenger has finally arrived. After confirming his identity, I gratefully hand over the obscene sum that Deirdre's stepfather demanded. It'll take quite a few years to regain that amount, but any amount would be worth it to end my torment. Deirdre is due here at any time, so I must end this. 72nd entry. Wow, what a skip. I have finally confronted the Brotherhood about the unfair taxes which they levy against this town. They act as if they own Skurdash. They've been a thorn in my side ever since I arrived here. Thus far, I've given them no reason for taking action against me, but now I'm a little worried that I provoked them with my talk about unfair taxes. I can only hope that my amulet will keep them at bay. 73rd. I'm certain of it now. They are after me. I replaced the lock on my door with the best I could find, but it didn't stop last night's intruder. If not for my amulet, I'd be dead. I'm getting out of here. Sooner or later, they're going to figure out how to neutralize my magic, and when they do, I'm done for. I'm packing up everything I can carry, and I'll be out of here tomorrow. And that's the end. So, well, nothing we can do about that. Guy got away. But I don't think he was a man that would say, he got away as an answer. So, fortunately, we do have this handy little spell that we learned. Let's create that reality pocket and step in. Pouring the spell in the air. The glowing lines float over to the mural and sink into the surface. An uneven circle, like the hole in the painting, pulls back from the center to the frame, leaving something like a doorway into the scene. A figure stands uncomfortably in the center of an artist's studio. Well, we have a new pathway now. Let's hop in. You climb onto the mantle and into the painting. You find yourself standing in the artist's studio facing a young man awkwardly holding himself in a stiff pose.
Hello, my good man. Have you seen the artist? I'm getting very tired of standing in this position.
Yes. He told me to tell you to take a break.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. That position had me stiffening up. Not really worth the effort, if you ask me. I'm only doing it to fill time anyway. Who are you, by the way?
Well, there's a few things we can answer. Let's just be honest. I mean, we are after the amulet.
I'm here to kill you and take your amulet, sir.
You're going to kill me? Go ahead and try, Blackguard. The amulet you want so much is just what keeps you from taking it. While I wear it, I cannot be harmed. Now, it is my turn.
So, we tried to swing at him, bounced off. He launched a fist at our midsection, and we fell out of the painting onto the floor. Let's maybe not be so aggressive this time. And hopefully you won't remember what we just did.
Hello, my good man. Have you seen the artist? I'm getting very...
Don't you remember me?
Why, no, I don't. I always remember a face. I'm certain I've never seen you before.
Well, that's good.
Yes. He told me to tell you to take a break.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
Well, we should just use our information that we gathered from the journal now.
I'm a messenger from your wife-to-be. She sent me with the dowry information you've been waiting for.
Oh? What does my little doe want?
Yes.
It's quite simple. She wants your magic amulet.
She wants my amulet? My most prized possession? I don't believe it. How do I know you aren't lying?
Do you think I would be so stupid as to try to lie to such an obviously intelligent and perceptive man?
Well, yes, of course. However, I must verify this information, as I'm sure you understand. I can't just give away something this valuable to someone who claims to be a messenger from my fiancée. The person she was to send was supposed to know some very personal facts about her, things no one besides me would know. If you can answer these questions, I'll believe you are who you say. First, can you tell me what her favorite bedtime story was?
I think we knew.
The bouncing beans?
Or red.
Interesting. Now, tell me this. How many stepping stones were there over the old creek where we used to meet?
3. No, 5.
5?
There's only one more. What did I whisper to my lady the first time we met?
How much?
That's correct. You've answered all of my questions. I have no choice but to believe that you are who you claim to be. As I have told my lady, I would give up anything to be with her. She obviously wishes to test this promise by asking for my most prized possession. I will give it to you in hopes that she will realize that my love for her surpasses any material item.
He sighs heavily as he removes the amulet from around his neck and hands it to you. You bow and walk away out of the painting and back into the house and realize there's nothing to step back onto and fall on your back. After you leave the portrait, the spell wears off and a portal closes. It is a lovely silver amulet, which glows a very faint light. Let's wear this amulet. You drape the amulet around your neck. You feel much safer. Much safer. So, instead, alright. Let's see if we can go in the painting. I don't think we can. I think Haplo himself will say no reason to go back in there, but I've already got the amulet you need. It would be unfair to antagonize separation for it. He's just an imaginary figure, though. Alright, anyways. Off we go, I suppose. Alrighty. So, now that we have the amulet, let's try to do that attack thing again. Screaming wildly, you charge you with your shear, securing the knowledge that your amulet will save you from harm. Suddenly he disappears. You look around and see him leaning casually against a chair holding the amulet. You chuckle and mutter something about the whole thing being a misunderstanding, but Hugh doesn't see it that way at all. For some reason he takes it quite personally, and you take 6 inches of tempered steel into your kidney. He loves going for the kidney, jeez. Alright, so that's a funny aside. Like, wouldn't it be funny if I just tried to do that to you? Anyway.
Yes? Is there something else?
I have the amulet. Here it is.
I didn't think you could do it. Now I have no doubts that you're perfect for the Brotherhood. Come with me.
He strides to the door, with you tagging behind. He leads you up to the front of the tower, with motions too quick to follow. Rendered in the blink of an eye, he has opened a concealed door. He ducks in sight and motions you to follow.
This is the Tower of the Brotherhood, my friend. You'll come to know it well. To the right is the storeroom where we keep the key crystals. You'll learn more about those after you've joined. In front is the legendary treasure room, and to the left is the initiation room. It is here that we go. I noticed that you've taken a beating recently. This healing salve should help. A good assassin is never without it. Wait here. I will be back in an hour or so to proceed with the initiation. Try not to think about the pain involved.
We won't. So let's look at this. The table is roughly hewn and covered with old and faded stains that look suspiciously like blood. Let's go ahead and push the table. Get on the table and open that up. You climb onto the stained table and flip open the shuttered window. The sun bursts through the opening, somewhat obscured by the distinct shape of the floating continent of Molandia. So it's kind of weird that this, the whole time I thought it was just nighttime or something, but it's just the tower is that big and it just blots out the sun, as well as this continent helping blot it out. So, Eulandia, let's read that paper again. So, Charthia, Hestia, Shagra, Eulandia, Aristogon. By their time to die. Okay, well... Alright, so let's save here, because there's a lot of ways to die when you're in the depths of an assassin's home. The door's securely locked. Well, not for long. What was it? Clack? No, it definitely wasn't that. Okay, it wasn't Tick. Tick was not first. I think that was second. And definitely not Clank. Okay, was it Thunk? Okay, I think it's Shake. Okay, so I think it's Shake. Full tilt. There we go. Light radiates from a huge gem in the ceiling onto a stone statue of the woman wearing a green crystal necklace. Oh, right. This is when you should have noticed, oh, I have an extra thing in my inventory. What's this doll do? The doll's carved from it's vaguely human, it has 2 legs, 2 arms, and a head, but lacks any specific features. The rune structure has been carved on its back. You assume that it is this spell that keeps it moving. You've learned a spell. What's this, spell? Let's take a look at it. The spell of motion. The spell can only be cast upon things with at least a basic humanoid form. As long as the target object is touching the ground, the spell forces it to walk, usually in random directions. If the object is not suited for such activity, such as it has no movable joints, serious damage may result. Sure, let's cast motion on us. You cast a spell on you, but you aren't an inanimate object with a humanoid form, so the spell has no effect. Well, we're looking at a humanoid form right here. Actually, the statue is the exquisitely carved form of a beautiful woman. A green crystal necklace is draped over her shoulders. She stands in the field of light produced by a huge gem set into the ceiling. Well, if we try to take this, you reach towards the crystal necklace. As your hand touches the field of light, pain races up your arm. You quickly retract your burning fingers. Well, don't have to spell field yet, so let's instead get this statue to come to us. You trace the lines of the spell into the air. The magic envelops the statue. For a few moments, nothing seems to happen. Suddenly, the still form quivers. Stone legs, never intended to walk, uproot themselves. The statue begins to move jerkily towards you. With every step, it breaks apart. Stone fragments fall away from newly made joints. As soon as it has made its way outside the glowing field, it collapses in a heap. The crystal necklace remains on the statue's neck, but safely outside the killing field. Yoink! Grab the crystal necklace from the neck of the statue. The necklace is made up of 6 long green crystals spun together in a loop. I don't need to wear them. So, this is the puzzle that got me stuck for a while. Maybe because I'm done. Okay. Oh, I just saw you write, wrote, clack, tick, thunk. Thank you. That's not the confusing part, this is the confusing part. Actually, I don't think it's as confusing as it needs to be. Let's try this. Eulandia. Because each of these has a letter, I think. So that do U. Is there an L? Nope. No L. Okay, whoops. Alright, so buy their time to die. And then Sharthia, Hestia, Shagra, Yolanda, Aristicon. I thought it was Yolandia that was blocking. Okay. Alright. Let me go back in here. Yolandia. U-Y... Landia. At least that's why I thought the way to solve that was. Okay. Is there a Y? Oh, Topaz Opal? Okay. Where is Topaz? Okay. Never mind. I'm just... Thank you. Again, I'm not the best at puzzle games. Thank you. Thank you, Jared. Alright, the opal hand slides into the wall and then pops out again. You hear a quiet rumble like hidden gears turning. Slowly, the wall splits and swings open to reveal a hidden chamber beyond. For a treasure room, this chamber is surprisingly bare. Its only distinguishing feature is the platform in the center. You step onto the wide platform. To get a better view of the entire room. So let's no, what's a good save? Okay, alright. So that is a conveniently looking gutter, so to speak. Let's go ahead and put this on. You lay the crystal necklace on the pedestal into the indentations that frame the flattened top. Light erupts from the pedestal and soon envelops the entire chamber. When your eyesight is cleared, you notice the room is filled with treasure. Coins and gems, of course, but also ancient artifacts of inestimable value. Alright, well... Look at the treasure. Miscellaneous treasure is strewn about the room. Most of it amounts to no more than gold and gems, but a few choice items look like the certain artifacts you came for, such as that thing. Such as that thing. Such as that thing. On your way back, you slip on some loose gems lying on the floor. You fall headfirst onto the hard surface of the platform. The impact stirs an involuntary yelp of pain. Like the stone statue didn't, cause a huge ruckus, but anyways. The noise echoes out the opening in the wall, down the tower's main hall. Before you get to your feet, a guard comes bursting into the chamber, led by Hugh himself.
I like you. You're a thief after my own heart. Unfortunately, we can't suffer someone who's tried to steal from the Brotherhood to live. I'll try to make this as painless as possible.
Alright, well... Before you do that, let me read this real quick. Hey, it's the Kixie Whimsy book. Wait, Hugh, hold that dirt real quick. We're doing Skyrim time pause here. I'm in the inventory screen. You gotta wait for me. The Kixie Whimsy. The Kixie Whimsy, as it is affectionately known by the dwarves who both named and maintain it, is a grand machine. At any instant in time, its size is unknown, because it grows and shrinks depending on its circumstances and needs. As an enhancement to its burrowing ability, it has been designed to occupy as much space as it requires. Therefore, it is conceivable that the machine could eventually claim the interior of the entire floating continent of Dreadland. The Kixie Whimsy is virtually self-sustaining. It builds the necessary equipment, digs the appropriate tunnels, and mines whatever ores are needed to keep itself repaired and expanding. However, Because it is possible that this machine will be functioning for thousands of years and that unforeseen accidents could occur, workers have been posted to supervise its operations. While the Kixie Winzy is expanding, it follows certain rules. It creates specific types of rooms and workstations, and every few miles, a control center. Normally, dwarves occupy the workstations throughout the machine to monitor it and perform small tasks. Foremen among the dwarves are assigned control rooms. In those rooms, an area's performance is continually updated and displayed on the control panel. Thus informed, the foreman can correctly direct the work of other dwarves. The control center has a second port function as well. Generally, the Kixie Winzy mines the ores that it requires. There may be times when a foreman decides that specific ores needed to repair the Kixie Winzy are not currently being mined. In that case, a foreman can direct the Kixie Winzy to modify or, more accurately, append to its behavior. Each control panel has a compartment specifically designed for such a situation. If a sample of the needed ore is placed inside the compartment, the Kixie Winzy will analyze it and dispatch a digger to mine the closest match. It will then deliver the ore to a processing point so that the foreman can make use of it. Aside from its other functions, the Kixie Winzy is to be the site for the unification. 3 elements combined to play a part in the process. This manual, a crystal globe, and a Kixie Winzy itself. Each will be given unto a separate mensch race. Naturally, the dwarves will retain control of the Kixie Winzy. This book will lie in the hands of the humans, and the crystal globe, the final key, will be given to the elves. The mensch races must work together to actualize the unification. When all the pieces are gathered, representatives will stand in the resting place of the Sartan. A statue of the beloved Sama will be there to greet them, his hands outstretched as if waiting to receive something. The mensch must surrender the crystal to him. The action will awaken the Sartan and summon the sealed piece of Arianis, which will symbolize the start of Arianis' part in the plan. Plan being capitalized. There, that's the camera I need to look at. So, we're going to start getting hints of a master plan for post breaking up the world. It's this unification. Alright, I'm done with the book now. Alright, time forward. Hugh steps up onto the platform and with one graceful movement slides the blade deep into your heart. You don't feel much pain, but are very aware when your heart ceases to function. Let's undo that. Instead of reading that book, let's read the book on Brian. Brian. And actually, instead of reading that, I do need to actually read that to get the rune. So, remember reading that part last stream? Anything that you put on here will make all this appear. Anything that you take off, or whenever you take it away, everything disappears. You snatch the Kree crystals from the pedestal. This causes the contents of the room to be transported back to the space between realities. Fortunately for you, this doesn't include the person standing on the platform. Unfortunately for Hugh and the guard, this happens to include them. Wearing expressions of disbelief, they fade away along with the remainder of the treasure. So, since we've gotten rid of the highest-ranking person besides Chang, time to skedaddle. Time to go.
I can't believe it! You got out of the tower alive! No thief has ever survived! We've got to get out of here. Skirvash isn't safe for either of us. The Brotherhood rules this city, and they'll kill us when they find us.
That is true. You race back to the elven ship with the street rat in tow. King Stephen's troop captain hauls up the rope ladder as you climb aboard. You'll hand signals from the captain and send the crew scurrying, and shortly the ship lifts off.
I've decided to stay on board until we reach the Valkyrian Isles, where Stephen rules. I think I can live much better in human lands. I'll need these to get started. You understand, I'm sure.
No, not the lockpick of ever unpicking in Kryvar. Who knows how many locks I'll encounter? None. The answer is none. At least none that I need that. Smiling, you climb down the ladder and wander into the dwarven caverns. From that vantage, you watch the ship depart into the stormy sky. You take inventory of your possessions and note that the rat has also lifted the necklace of keys crystals. Well, I'm sure they weren't important anyways. Alright, so we have, it looks like, 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of pipe. And he said that we need to get 5. The Grumple guy. Oh, hey, look at that. You twist the pipe fitting back and forth until it pops out of the wall, crack in the wall. Alright, so it's time to help this old dwarf not get dunked on anymore. Fix the broken pipe with pipes. So here we go towards something I don't like doing. We can't turn these, by the way. It's just, I don't think we can anyways. Oh, nope. Yeah, we can turn. We can turn and flip and all that stuff. Alright, well, this will be fun. Well, this should go here, right? Let's see, can we flip this maybe this way? Let's see if this will go here. And then go here. Nope, Nope, we need to shave off a little bit more space. Okay. Alright, let's see. Nope, that's gonna... I think we're gonna need to put that here, maybe? No, we're gonna need to, because of those 3 pipes. Because I think we could fix it technically in 4, maybe, but let's see. This help? Nope. Can't put it there for some reason. Okay, let's see if we can... Whoops. Because that should work. Okay. Dang it. Sorry, this is part of where... Okay, so... let's try this. Okay. Nope. Wait, maybe that? Nope. Maybe, nope. Nope. Okay. Okay. I am not good at spatial figuring outness. I do know it's supposed to go down, though. That's the one bit I kind of do remember. Maybe this? Maybe, dang it. Ooh. by the way, if anyone has ideas, definitely feel free to pop up because, again, I am not the best at this. Maybe it is. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Nope. Oh, I'm probably gonna need to do this for some of them. Wait a second. Yay! Okay, that was pure luck. Alright, sorry for the wait, folks. You carefully set all the fittings in place and make a connection between the two ends of the broken pipe section. It looks rather bizarre, but appears stable. I'll take it. And, we'll just put the little cork in right there. And, let's turn it. See if it works. Valve produces a squeal as you turn it, which is soon accompanied by a low rumble. You hear the flow travel through the pipes along the wall and into the new section. Soon, the whole room is filled with happy hunting sounds, and the old dwarf brightens up considerably. Alright. Let's see if he has anything else he's grumbling about. Nope, same thing. Alright.
Now what do you want?
Did you notice that the gods have left?
I did hear some yelling and stomping, but I just screamed for those stoneheads to keep it down. Is that what the commotion was all about? Well, good riddance, I say. They were a no-good bunch of charlatans anyway.
You agreed that once the gods were gone and the pipes were fixed, you'd answer my questions.
That was our deal, I suppose. And since you did fix the Kixie Winsy, I guess I could spin a tale or two with you. What was it you wanted to know?
I'm looking for a piece of the world seal. It's a hexagonal piece of metal with a symbol etched onto it. I thought you might know where I could find it.
I don't remember any world seal. The only thing that comes close was a big statue I found years back in a chamber in one of the old tunnels. Carved into the base of the statue was a symbol framed by a hexagon. Something like the one you describe.
Where was this chamber located?
I found it when I was tracing a mineral vein that the Kixie Winsy was mining. But since the Kixie Winsy filled up the tunnel leading to it, I've forgotten precisely where it was located. If I had one of the old maps, I might be able to locate it. But I doubt such a map even exists anymore.
Well, if such a map did exist, where would I find it?
That's a tough one. I suppose you might find one wherever you'd find any of the ancient documents, but nobody reads them anymore. The map could be anywhere, or it could have been destroyed. Those papers were pretty darn old.
Or it could have been accidentally in my inventory for, the last stream.
Can you tell me about the Mangers?
The Mangers created the Kixie Winsy. The dwarves worshipped them before the gods showed up. Some say that the Mangers would have been with us still, but something happened. Come close. I found a chamber that contained a statue of a Manja. It was surrounded by crystal blocks with big people in them, much like yourself. I tried but couldn't open the blocks. I think those people inside, they were Manjas.
How old are you really?
Old enough to recognize a smart-ass question when I hear one.
What is it that the Kixie Whimsy does exactly?
Sonny, nobody knows exactly why the Kixie Whimsy was created. The Manjas built it long ago, even before my time. According to the legends, the Manjas intended the Kixie Whimsy to take care of everyone, of all races in all realms. And before you ask, I don't have any idea what that means.
That's all. Thanks for the help.
Yeah, sure.
Well, we do happen to have this here.
Hey, this is a geological survey map of the entire continent. Let me look at it. Here's where I discovered that statue with the symbol. It was in this vein of iron ore. I remember that vein clearly. I saved a lump of the ore somewhere. Look closely at the grain. That vein was one of the best.
This kind of reminds me of one of my friend's characters in a D&D game I'm doing, Wolf. He is the stereotypical, let me tell you about this vein of ore, and go on and on and on and on. It does kind of help that he is kind of in the geological fields of whatnot. Anyways, yeah, thank you, Old Dwarf, and goodbye. So, if we remember what the thing said, it will, if the foreman feels that a specific type of ore is not being mined properly, as soon as you slip the piece of iron ore into the small compartment, its door slams shut. Lights flare and whistles blare all over the panel. Behind you, the giant digger machine chucks. The drill jerks into motion and you start to spin. It starts to spin. You don't spin it unless you try to hold on to it. Anyways, it also gradually increases speed. Puffs of steam toot and hiss randomly from the holes. When the drill is no more than a blur, the whole machine trundles towards the wall and melts into it as if the wall were butter. Soon, it disappears from sight, leaving a dark tunnel behind. Alright, well, before we go further, just want to read this book here. Priam. And this is my favorite world of the places we'll go to. Priam, it is our hope that the reader has some acquaintance of the design and motives of the plan. But should that not be so, we here offer a summary of events transpired, events in the making, and events still to come. Disorder reigns in the wake of the ongoing struggle between the Sartan and those dirty patrons. The Mensch no longer know to whom to pray. A misguided few have actually begun to align themselves with the malevolent machinations of the patrons. By the way, if you're new to the stream, we're a patron. If not for the patrons' inherent distrust of alliance and the haphazard nature of their efforts, they might have already claimed victory. And yet, the balance of power is shifting, and something must be done. The added support of millions of Mensch prove sufficient to grant the patrons the mastery they so desperately crave. Sounds a little bit like something else, but the plan was formulated by Council Leader Sama. Though controversial, it shows great potential for success. History will judge its efficacy, but given Sama's influence with the Council, implementation of the plan seems a foregone conclusion. Sama's plan calls for the world to be sundered into 5 realms. 4 to bear the imprint of elements, 1 of air, fire, stone, and water, and a 5th to constitute a supervisory station for the Sartan and a reformation for the patrons. Silly patrons. This prison shall be named the Labyrinth, and woe to the any assigned there. That much said, we must allow that the plan that's not without flaw. The successful administering of these new realms will be contingent on our ability to manage the affairs of the Mensch. Millennia of war, savagery, and racial intolerance have left them headstrong and unpredictable. But all previous attempts at direct intervention have only exacerbated this situation. It grows apparent that peace cannot be forced upon them, that they must arrive at peaceful solutions to their problems without outside interference. Consequently, we must temporarily remove ourselves from their affairs, though we remain steadfast in our belief that the challenges posed by new environments will enlighten each to the failings of their old ways. Each of the 4 realms will determine for itself when the 3 races of Mensch elves, dwarves, and humans have achieved harmony. When that occurs, the Sartan will reveal themselves, for the purpose of leading the Mensch into an even grander future. For it is then that the final phase of the plan will be initiated, the linking of the four realms via the destiny. This coupling is essential to the full working of the plan, for the realms are not designed to be either self-sufficient or self-determining. When the fourfold unification of the Mensch realms has been realized, the High Council of the Sartan will re-enter the vortex, and the spell of the Sundering will reach completion. We turn now to an analysis of one of the four elemental realms, the realm defined by fire, known henceforth as Prion. Much like our native world, Prion will be oblately spherical. It will, however, be hollow, its exterior comprised of inert rock, while its interior provides for a breathable atmosphere, arable soil, dense forests, and navigable oceans. Instead of populating the outer surface, Pyrion's Mensch will inhabit the inner curvature. Furthermore, 4 massive suns will be conjured in the center of the hollow to warm and light the interior. These suns will neither rise nor set. The ordinary cycles of life will change, but we are confident that the Mensch will, over time, adapt to these new conditions of never, ever, 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 ever seeing light or night again. They'll be fine. After Prion has been forged, we will fashion a structure called the Citadel, whose purpose will be to funnel power through the Death Gate to the other realms. Prion's 4 suns are to be the source of that power. The Citadel will have ample space to accommodate the 3 Mensch races. What's more, the Citadel will serve as Prion's unification's test site. Each of the 3 races will be given a talisman that symbolizes its role in the new society. When representatives of the elves, dwarves, and humans unite at the Citadel and lay those talismans at the door, the Citadel will open. The Mensch will be rewarded with a glorious place in which to live. Under the tutelage and enlightened guidance of the Sartan, rise to greet them. 2. The opening of the Citadel will summon a race of beings known as the Titans, who are designed to operate and service the Citadel. Not only will their size and strength permit them to endure the rigors of their tasks, but their specific magical gifts will enable them to protect themselves and the Citadel from harm. However, to ensure against the Titans using their endowments for any other purpose, we've devised a method to counteract the potential threat that they pose to Mensch and Sartan alike. First, we have kept them sightless. Second, we have rendered their otherwise normal hearing responsive to a sequence of sounds, a string of fraction tones, that is unlikely to occur naturally. Whenever the sequence is enabled, and for however long it continues, the Titans will be immobilized. The tune follows. Mamba number 5. Sound entranced, the Titans will be vulnerable to a variety of behavior modification and or enhancement spells. The spells will permit the Sartan to subjugate those included in their birth imprinting. Birth imprinting spells cater principally to basic self-defense and task-oriented Citadel operation, along with a specific summon command that directs the Titans to the Citadel when unification of the Mensch talismans occurs. Regrettably, the Titans, too, until their summoning, will inhabit the inner curvature of the Prion. They will be so well removed from Prion's population centers that the possibility of encounter or an interaction with the Mensch is remote. This concealment is more for the sake of the Mensch than the Titans. Faced with such an intimidating foe, the Mensch might be quite to attack, and an attack against the Titans or the things under their care would only enable their very capable self-defenses, resulting in the maiming and killing of some or all Mensch. Well, that will certainly come into handy, I'm sure. Alright, let's follow that tunnel. A tall statue of a Sartan is surrounded by crystal caskets. A roughly hewn tunnel runs off to the west. Let's look at the statue. The statue of the robed Sartan, much larger than life, lords over the room, his hands outstretched as if asking for something. Well, of course, the first thing that we do to any of our enemies, let's break it. Shows you for imprisoning us. The statue wobbles a bit as if it's about to walk, but it stops. Perhaps the statue is too high off the floor for the spell to take effect. Dang it. Fine. Whatever. So, it's asking for something. The crystal globe said the book, so, yeah. Gingerly, you place the crystal globe in the fleeting hands of the statue. As it clinks into place, the statue's eyes alight with a blue fire. Shafts of light pierce down through the globe. Internal facets distort the light as it passes through the crystal, so that when it is emerged from the other side, the light outlines a hexagonal shape on the ground. The ground shakes. The section of rock floor outlined by the blue light melts away, and Arianos' seal piece rises in its place. Suddenly, the crystal coffin opens, revealing hundreds of Sartan, all very dead. The entire experience is rather macabre. Looks like they slept too long. Every one of the coffins is filled by a Sartan body. All of them are as dead as doorknobs. Well, let's cook those suckers. Coffins seem to be immune to changes in temperature. They were built to last. You didn't want to do them on the coffins, but fine. Can we get the crystal globe back? Nope. Well, can we get the seal piece? We do. And with that, our trip to Arianos is complete. We have the seal piece. We have a rune showing the next place we need to go. And there we go. I know this is a little bit of a shorter stream, but I don't want to start mid-world, because this is definitely kind of a tutorial of magics and puzzles and stuff like that, because everything gets a little bit more intense as we go into each world, for sure. So, this is the end of the first of the 4 worlds. We'll go ahead and use our steering stone to head back to the Nexus. As we approach the Death Gate. So after each world, we will report back to Czar and tell him of our experiences and everything like that. We'll go ahead and do that, actually. So we can start the next stream off with just a, properly, I guess you could say. Alright, Czar, I have so much to tell you.
Welcome back, my son. I see you've been successful. You have Arianos' seal piece. Congratulations. Now, please give me a report.
You hand over the seal piece and describe your adventures on Arianos in detail. Most of the antics of the Mensch seem to bore Lord Czar, but he pays rapt attention to the discovery of the reference book of Prion and of the crystal coffins holding hundreds of Sartan corpses.
Amazing. The only Sartan you find are long dead. I wonder if someone has stolen our vengeance from us, or if their consciences did them in. I will have to consider this new information. Now, was there anything else before you use your newfound book to go on to Prion, Realm of Fire?
You know, Arianos was not a prison. The Mensch weren't slaves. Most of their problems were of their own making. Perhaps the Sartan knew what they were doing?
My son, of course it may appear to be that way. Naturally, the Mensch weren't rebelling against the Sartan. According to your own report, the Sartan there are dead. Believe me, if the Sartan had been alive, they would have been grinding the Mensch under their heels. We are doing them a favor by removing the Sartan threat forever, or confirming its absence, and finally taking over the reins of their lives. The Sartan were right about one thing. The Mensch do need guidance. They're like children. Listen to your own report. Their squabbles are almost laughable. When we finally bring the world together, we shall give them the leadership that they so sorely need.
Are we the back? No! The Sartan destroyed the world. They split it up into 4 realms and set it shooting off into different directions. We're trying to bring everyone back together. That's a good thing, because the book says the 4 worlds that they were split into weren't supposed to be split off forever. We're trying to bring them back together, otherwise, eventually, every world will die. That's kind of more hinted novel-wise. Basically, if we don't do anything, everyone dies. Bad. We're the good guys.
What do you suppose killed the Sartan? They all looked fairly young.
I'm not sure. Perhaps a plague. Although I've never heard of a plague so selective that it wipes out an entire race and leaves others untouched. I don't think we have enough information yet. Hopefully you will learn more in your travels.
Can you tell me anything about your research?
The book I'm reading now is titled The History of the Sundering. Not only is it woefully inadequate, but it was improperly stored, and moisture has damaged many of the pages. The book discusses the 6 Sartan responsible for the plan: Sama, Dimitri, Orsef, Lornoy, Tyler, and Wayleth. Each created a specific spell, and for reasons I won't go into, it is vital that I learn which spell each Sartan created. The book did have that information once, but the water destroyed it. So I've been forced to do quite a bit of research on each person. I've divined much about their personalities from other texts. I'm hoping that this will tell me what kind of spell they would be likely to create. I've become very familiar with each of them, and I've named them the 6 devils. Each is a devil in a unique way.
Tell me about Sama.
I call Sama the devil of the soul. He was insidious. Although the Sartan Council was theoretically democratic, Sama could talk them into anything. In fact, there was much dissension on the council when the plan was discussed. Many felt that it was too extreme, but Sama thundered right through the contrary arguments. The rest is history.
That doesn't sound like a very good guy thing to do.
What did you learn about Dimitri?
I know Dimitri is the devil of the hand. He was very skilled at a variety of arts and was a talented musician. It's said that his interests were very diverse, and he resented the time he was forced to spend on the council.
Who is Orsef?
Orsef is the devil of the heart. It is closest to the soul, and in truth, Orsef was Sama's closest advisor. He spent much time among the Mensch, studying them. The Mensch fascinated Orsef for some reason. It was he who was placed in charge of overseeing the transportation of the Mensch into the 4 realms.
Can you tell me about Lornoy?
I call Lornoy the devil of the eye. He was one of the few that saw the many problems with the plan. He was the leader of the pitiful opposition. I guess it shows how pitiful indeed the opposition was, that Lornoy was one of the instrumental participants in the plan. Sama must have talked swiftly to convince him.
Tell me about Tyler.
Tyler is the devil of the mind. He was the youngest and quickest of all 6 Sartan. If not for him, the plan might never have occurred. Although he was very ambitious, he wasn't nearly the politician that Sama was. Sama used him, as he used everyone to further his own plans.
Who is this Wayleth?
I refer to Wayleth as the devil of the tongue. Sama knew that Wayleth was a skilled speaker and well-liked, perhaps almost as good a politician as he. He kept Wayleth from the council for that very reason, and was fortunate that Wayleth had no political aspirations. Otherwise, he might have had a fight on his hands.
Can I take a look at that book?
I'm afraid not. It's so damaged now that I have to keep special care of it. I never move it from this desk, and I turn the pages only with reluctance. I'm sorry.
Let's go back to some other topic.
Of course. What do you want to know?
That's enough for right now. I'd like to talk to you later if you don't mind.
Very well. I'll be here.
Alright, and now with that, we are ready to go to Brian. So basically, we're finding out a little bit of the Sartans' grand plan. Their basically the aftermath of breaking everything apart. They wanted everything to come back together, but it doesn't look like anyone's doing anything about it because we found all the things in the Brotherhood, basically, and they weren't ever going to go to Drethlet. Probably not with any of their prized Sartan artifacts or whatever. So each world has a unification where the different mensch races were supposed to get along, work together, and then move forward with getting everything worked out, basically. We're going to see that it did not work like that on any of the worlds, unfortunately. The Sartan were a little too ambitious. We'll come to find out. But anyways, the next world is definitely by far my favorite. We actually have a couple of folks who travel with us. So we have a party. It reminds me of the other game based on a novel series that might be more familiar, the Shannara series. They actually, Legend Entertainment did a game based on that series. And yeah, you had a party of the Olmsfords and stuff like that. It was really fun, much more RPG based because you could level up your characters and you still puzzly. Like this was the format of it, but you had like party members here that you could equip and see their stats and stuff like that. Anyways, I like that. I don't like that as much as this one because this one is definitely more story driven and the other one did kind of, I don't know, it wasn't as well written, I guess. And also it's much harder to find. I can't find that one. So they also did one based on Xanth, Demons Don't Lie, or is Demons Don't Lie or Demons Don't Dream? I forget. But yeah, they did one based off that, and then they did one based on Frederick Pohl's Gateway series, and then there was another one they did too, based on another book series, but all of them are good. Like, all their games that they did based on novel adaptations are really good. Some of them I like better than others. But yeah, this is my favorite of their book adaptations that they did. Anyways, so next stream tomorrow at 7 o'clock. We'll start here. I should probably save before I forget. So we'll head on to Pryan, see what that's all about, and maybe you will also enjoy it as your favorite of the four worlds that we will venture to. So I hope everyone had a good time. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your help as well. Some of these puzzles I have forgotten, and I will more than likely need help with other puzzles as we go further. But yeah, I will go ahead and say good night for now, and hope everyone has a good rest of the day tomorrow, and see you all at 7-ish. Bye-bye, Zels.